A lot of people get this question wrong. I don't think it's that hard, but I don't know. I think people just kind of panic when they see things that are a little unfamiliar. So remember what we need to do here is we need to follow the QLC method. So we use that for every question, but it also matters here. We shouldn't look at those answer choices until we've looked at the line reference, right? The L comes before the C. So we know what word we're looking for, we go to the line, and we try to understand what they mean based on the context. We'd love to come up with a guess for that word that we can compare with the answer choices instead of just placing in there. So let's see. It says, still, Katz doesn't dismiss the notion that there is something different about today's digital technologies, something that could affect an even broader range of work. So broader type of work, broader kind, broader amount. I'm struggling. Let's keep going. The question, he says, is whether economic history will serve as a useful guide. Will the job disruptions caused by technology be temporary as the workforce adapts, or will we see a science fiction scenario in which automated processes and robots with superhuman skills take over a broad swath of human tasks? Okay, well, there's my guess, right? Swath. However, that's a tough word we might not know either. So I'm going to kind of include all these other ones: swath, amount, type, kind. The point of the guess is not to always just have one word that captures it. We might struggle with that. That's okay. We just kind of want to have as close of an idea as possible about what they're trying to say. And so we can have multiple guesses if together they allow us to see the big picture of what's happening. You're not writing poetry here. You're just trying to get a placeholder that you can then compare to the answer choices. So if we look at this, like, some of these kind of fit. Now, distance to me seems kind of wrong, right? Like a broader distance of work. Work doesn't have a distance, right? Like for work, you might have to travel a distance, but that's not what we're saying here. There's no feet and inches to work. So this doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't really match with any of my guesses either, right? Like amount maybe is the closest, but type, kind, those words don't mean distance, so that doesn't work. Region is also another word that I associate with a specific, like, kind of place on a map, a geography, right? A spot with an area, with a length and a width. And so region also doesn't really work because we're not talking about a physical location where the work is. A broader range of work, we're just talking about different types of work. So these words that I would associate with location and maps just don't fit with this situation. And I think that our guesses kind of reinforce that. And then finally, that kind of gets us to position, which I think also fits in that category of, again, it's not a specific place, it's not a position with a coordinate, right? So we're talking about a range, like the maximum and the minimum. Now, work doesn't have a maximum or a minimum, but you know what I'm talking about. It's a spectrum. And so a scope is not a word that probably we would use ourselves in our writing. But it means what it needs to mean. A range of work, kind of like all the different types of work. It's the scope of all the different types of work that we're talking about. So it fits. And honestly, if it fits for you more because the other three don't fit, that's okay. And that's why we don't really want to just pick the words that we're familiar with. We want to make sure that those familiar words actually work. And so I think that that's why people get this wrong, is they like words like region, distance, and position, because those are words that are part of your everyday vocabulary. Scope may not be. You know what it means, but because it's a little harder for you, you stay away from it, and that's not good. We want to not think like that. We sometimes do need to pick slightly harder words when we know that the easier words don't work, and the guesses, even though they might be sloppy, help us with that. They try to keep us focused on what it actually means so that we don't regress into these bad meanings. So try to stick to the process, try to come up with your own guess, and try to rely on that as much as you can instead of your own instincts. You want to have, real reasons to pick your choice.